OnePlus has settled. Over the past few years, they have fallen from the people's champion to an anonymous husk of a company. But with the Nord N30, are they back? Are they back? Is OnePlus back? Have they finally gone back to their flagship for cheap roots? Let's get into it. Now, I do have a review for the previous OnePlus Nord N30, and I quite liked it. Check that out in the description below. And while you're down there, if you could give me a like and a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. It really helps YouTube notice my videos. Also, if you want to support me in the channel, you can buy me a coffee if you want to. On paper, this thing is a beast. And in the Nord N30, we have a 6.7-inch full HD 120 Hz LCD screen, a huge 5,000 milliamp hour battery with 67 watt charging, no wireless charging though. We are running Android 13 with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage on a Snapdragon 695. And this does come with an SD card slot. We also have a headphone jack. We have these two big honka-tonka camera bumps, and they claim it's a triple camera array, but it's really just a 108 megapixel main camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, which is useless, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor, which is honestly more useful than the macro lens. And on the front, we have a 16 megapixel selfie camera. We have a fingerprint sensor on the side where it should be, a 200% ultra volume mode, which they claim has no distortion and no buzzing. And yeah, it works. This is the loudest phone I've ever heard. Build quality is excellent. That's never been an issue with OnePlus phones. They never felt cheap in the hands. The back is basically a green mirror and a fingerprint magnet, just all that good stuff, right? Gross. The camera is actually not that bad for a $300 phone. Pictures are decent in good lighting, usable even. I can imagine posting this one on Instagram if I wanted to. Dynamic range is not super great, and skin tones are pretty gray and lifeless, but that's fine. Again, this is 300 bucks. These are actually pretty good, like, not gonna lie. 108 megapixel mode doesn't help with picture quality. It's not more vibrant or contrasty or anything. It just takes a normal photo and then makes it 25 megabytes. That's it. It's still not a usable photo, so. Battery life is actually really good. This is definitely a 2-day phone. Now we do have 8 gigs of RAM and a Snapdragon 695 instead of something like a Snapdragon 888. It's not lightning fast like a flagship, but the phone doesn't feel sluggish at all. I haven't had any issues opening apps or switching between them. No lag or stuttering happening. Performance feels like a phone at least double the price. I like Oxygen OS and the classic OnePlus features like using the gestures when the screen is off to turn on the flashlight or go to the next song. We also have newer features like quickly opening a floating window and multitasking. I can watch a YouTube video and do research at the same time. And it does so very smoothly. Again, not slow or choppy at all. The ultra volume mode does work, and it's true. There is no buzzing or anything. It's very loud. Alarmingly loud. Unnecessarily.
You can also buy me a coffee if you want to. Thanks. So in the Propella 7S e-bike, we have.
Okay, so some things I think can be improved, or I just don't like. One, we have a 108 megapixel camera, but video is capped at 1080p 30 FPS, which is the absolute bare minimum. But again, $300, they gotta make cuts somewhere. I just wish it wasn't the camera. My biggest complaint about this phone is the variable refresh is the dumbest I've ever seen. Just to remind y'all, the point of a variable refresh rate is to save battery, and this thing does the opposite. So if we turn on our refresh rate in our developer settings, we can see our frame rate drops in essentially all apps. Instagram is 90 Hertz for some reason. I have yet to actually find an app where the screen is actually running at 120 Hertz. Okay, I actually did find an app that does 120 Hertz. LinkedIn. LinkedIn works for some reason. Now you know. Okay, let's get back to it. But you know where else it can do 120 Hertz? Sitting on the home screen, doing literally nothing, The entire point of having a variable refresh is to save battery. Every other phone ever made drops the refresh rate when you're not using or touching the screen. That's the whole point of it. This one bumps it up. Why are you running at 120 hertz for literally nothing? Nothing is happening. Stop it. It's like if every time you came to a red light, your car idles at max RPMs. So that's disappointing. I'm hoping they can fix that with a software update. We'll see. Okay, so the main question is OnePlus back. It's really hard to grasp that this phone is 300 bucks. You know, it feels like a phone at least twice the price. So then does that mean they're back? Is OnePlus redeemed now? Well, I mean, not redeemed, but this is a good start, you know. This sub $400 price point is turning into their bread and butter. They're starting to make really good phones under $400. So I feel like this is a good start that is absolutely worth considering. I get wafts and hints of greatness here, but it's not there yet. It's a good phone. I would even tell you to consider this if you're looking at $400 or $500 phones. Great performance for cheap. So what do you think of the OnePlus Nord N30? Would you consider this phone? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.